Thank you once again for tuning in with 28 Days, where we're celebrating our history, our heritage, our culture, and our stories. And once again, as promised, we have a very good guest with us today. Her name is Dr. Made. Give us a little background on who you are, Dr. Made, if you don't mind.
Thank you first for having me.
Okay.
I am originally from East Harlem, raised in the Bronx.
Right in the Bronx.
I have been a community-based educator for the past 15 years. And within that work, really have centered my energies and my passions around urban youth, particularly urban youth of color.
Okay.
I just wrapped up my dissertation this past spring in urban education,
Okay.
which is what brought me to Philadelphia in the first place.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm really passionate about young people.
So coming from a city such as New York and one of the boroughs, the Bronx, what has been the transition coming to a city such as Philadelphia? What are some of the similarities and some of the differences?
Definitely just the grit of the city.
Okay.
You know, my dissertation was called Tough Love,
Okay.
at least the initial part. And so just that sense of tough love, you know, is I think something that defines urbanity, that sort of rough exterior, which is really a reflection of just systems of oppression like manifesting within our communities and being a part of our struggle.
Okay.
But there's also so much beauty, right, within that struggle. There's so much humor that comes out of that struggle. And so I think transitioning into Philadelphia was transitioning not just into a different kind of urbanity, but also transitioning into graduate school.
Okay.
You know, this institution that, you know, you clearly get a sense it wasn't created for you to survive, right? And yet, you being an ambassador from your community and coming in wanting to do research that's for your community, you really become a vessel of resiliency within that space. And so in a lot of ways, that is a microcosm for even, you know, growing up in urban cities like the Bronx and Philadelphia.
You got a soft look to yourself, and I know you got a lot of passion. What in your childhood experience or your adolescence development that made you pick something like that? I mean, what inspired you from a very young age to do this?
Well, I grew up with a single mother, although my father was always in the picture.
Okay.
And she worked 3 jobs growing up. And so I spent a lot of time in community centers.
Okay.
And I think community centers was my first job.
Okay.
It was what I focused my research on.
Okay.
And it really was this space that kept me a well-rounded individual.
Okay.
You know, and it was a space of belonging. It was a space of affirmation. Even as just some of the challenges of urban space still entered into those spaces. I think community centers for me just exposed me to a lot. I was able to travel because of community centers. I was able to get on stage and dance and really explore a lot of my own gifts and talents and opportunities within my community.
So what's some initiatives that you're working on at this moment, if you don't mind me asking?
Sure. So I currently run a young women's leadership program called Tough Girls.
Okay.
And so Tough is spelled Tuff, Turn Up for Freedom.
Okay.
And so it is a arts-based and activist-driven program where we're really trying to develop a safe space for Black and Latino girls to see themselves and to be seen at the very same time that we are tackling issues that affect them and their communities, such as street harassment, police harassment, and really give them an opportunity to be community leaders. And so we do, we write, we dance, and we plan freedom parties. And freedom parties, again, are around building community with themselves as young women and building safe space, but then also planning these community events, like our last one in December, which was a march for justice,
Okay.
in which the girls were sort of speaking out about a number of the cases that we saw happen this year between Mike Brown, between Eric Gardner, and other women who also have been affected by police harassment, police violence, and street violence as well.
So what are some of the ways that people can, as we close, what are some of the ways people, because I'm sure people are like chopping at the bit to get in contact with you, what are some of the ways people can contact you, or what's the best way to contact you?
Sure. So you can find my contact information on the website Healing and Resistance,
Okay.
which is where you can also learn more information about Tough Girls. And there you'll find that my email is healingandresistance@gmail.com. And I'm also on Twitter at Morales Williams.
And make sure you give people the correct pronunciation of your name.
Yes.
So when they look, they Google you, they can get you. How you say it again?
Dr. Madi.
Dr. Madi. Hey, as promised, we thank you once again for tuning in at 28 Days, celebrating our history, our heritage, and our culture. And we look forward to you coming back again, where we will promise to bring intriguing stories with our very featured guests. Once again, tune in tomorrow, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.